Hi, welcome. This section is about developing your RShiny server-side application. In this section, we are going to take a look at time series data, passing that data to a function, building the server application as a whole, and then combining it with the UI application, running it, and testing it. So let's begin. This video is on handling data. In this video, we are going to take a look at time series data that we will use and functions to load that data in Shiny. So let's get started. The first thing that we need to do is download the data that we need. For this video, we are going to be working with the NSE India dataset. The NSE India dataset is basically real data of the Indian markets. You can enter any symbol for any particular share that you would like. Just as an example, I am entering one symbol, selecting a time period for a year and clicking on get data. This gets me all the data for the particular stock for a particular period. You can download this data in a CSV format. I have downloaded the data that I needed and have saved it in a CSV file. Because Shiny requires me, in this particular case, to save it as a text file, I have copied the final closing price data and put it in a text file. You can see the text file in my code directory. So, we initially talked about having a Shiny dashboard. We will have a UI page and a server page. In the server page, again, we will begin by loading the library Shiny. And here, we have loaded an additional library known as Forecast. In case you don't have it, install it. We will show you the usage of Forecast package later on, but for now, let us focus on loading the data. Now, if you remember the UI, we had an input box where the user would specify the file, and in the UI, we had stored the name of the variable that would save the file as text file. So what I am doing here is that I am saying that in the function input output, which is closing, which is having the entire code within it, the first thing that I'm telling it is that I'm creating a function known as data_L. I am telling it that it is a reactive function and that it is supposed to take an input from the variable text file. This data is now stored in infile. Further on, I am checking if the file has no data or not. If it has some data, then it would simply go to the next line, where I am loading the data as a time series object and saving it in the variable known as data. So what I am doing here is that first I am checking the infile data, then I am specifying whether I need to skip any lines. If you remember, we had declared a variable known as skipper, which specifies whether it should skip one line or 0 lines. Then we ask the user for the start year and end and the start month. This data we input here. If the user does not input any data, then it is replaced by the defaults. The same thing for the frequency, and then the data is returned to any function that calls data_L. So data_L is basically a reactive function which loads the data that the user has given to us. It loads whether it needs to skip a line, it checks the frequency and month and the year and specifies it into the variables and then loads it as a time series object, and that time series object is loaded in the variable data. This data is returned to any other function that can call data_L in order to use the data.